Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to another episode of Solar Vision, the safe channel to your soul. I feel like I said that very fast, but welcome back. It's been another week. How you doing? Hope all is well, and if it ain't well, it will be soon. All right, so I'm sorry, I'm moving papers around. I wrote this week's topic down because, I don't know, I was in the writing mood. I was writing notes for a book that I was reading. And yeah, in the writing mood, like I said. So many words for me. Yeah, this week has been a regular week. Just came back from vacation. Sorry, I paused. Just came back from vacation. Didn't post a video last week, or technically now if this video is posted, that means the week before last, because it was too much going on. I would not be able to edit and post all the things that I do when I drop another video. So last week's video was from the week before last, and then I just dropped it yesterday. And then now we're here. So we went to Disney, took my son to Disney World in Florida, had a really good time. My mom came, my grandma came, my dad came, my uncle came, my sister came, and it was very fun. We drove down there because y'all know plane tickets is expensive, but it was very fun. The drive wasn't terrible. So like a 12 hour drive. It wasn't terrible. Me and my husband took shifts, and that was that. We spent the weekend. Very great. Probably number one vacation we took. And I don't know if I want to rank that as a family vacation that we took in the rankings or vacation overall. But the amount of fun we had, it was really great. I hope y'all's weeks were fine and dandy and great, actually. Not just fine, I hope your weeks were fine. Well, not just fine, I hope your weeks were great. Yeah, I've been reading this book, listening to this book, and I'm not very far in on the book because I don't be having time. Granted, the audio versions do allow me to get further in chapters than I would if I didn't listen to it, because I just was listening to it while I was doing random stuff. It's called The Game of Life and How to Play It. And it's very insightful. It talks about the things that you say to yourself and speaking to your subconscious mind. And I've been writing notes on it because I don't know. Some just drew me to the book, and that's why I'm reading it. But it's really, really good, really insightful. It's forcing me to think differently, not differently, but see things in a different way. Like it goes into like God and like the teachings that we learn in church and all that stuff. And then it also like brings it to a different level, but a level that is barely touched on in church, if that makes sense. So I don't know if that helped anything. And if you want to look it up, just look it up. Because I don't think my examples are doing much well, but it tells you how to have faith, and it gives examples of what faith really looks like. And I think she's a therapist or something. She's speaking about her students and like people that she's helped and people that has asked her to help her throughout her life, and like the power of your tongue and the power of the things that you say, and telling your subconscious mind the things that you deserve, and, understanding things like that. They're not sponsoring this video, but if you want to sponsor this video, hit me up. Putting that out there. Just kidding. But not just kidding. See, I don't know. All right, so we're going to start with affirmations. And if you're new here, our affirmations are something that we say in the beginning of each and every episode. And yeah, I don't know if y'all want me to pause in between, but I feel like the pauses is just, I'm going to shorten the pauses just a little bit. I'll be talking to y'all like y'all are here. Maybe I should go live and be like, hey, y'all. Maybe next week, because clearly we're in the video trying to go live. Make that make sense? And I didn't even click what I need to click on. Can I even go live? That's kind of scary. No, I have to have a setup to go live. Okay, we'll do that next week. So yeah, affirmations. I am love. I am purpose. I was made with divine intention. I am worthy of what I desire. I can, I will, end of story. Period. I am adventurous. I overcome fears by following my dreams. I feed my spirit. I train my body. I focus my mind. It's my time. I am in charge of my life. I am the hero of my own life. I will not compare myself to strangers on the internet. That's a word, because a lot of us need to stop doing that. I am choosing and not wanting to be chosen. Whoa. Sorry. Scratch that. I am choosing and not waiting to be chosen. I am worthy. I am loved. I am enough. One more bonus affirmation. I am my light. Wow. I am my light. Be your own light. Be your own light. That kind of goes into the segment. Let's see if I can remember to tie those two together. But how have you been feeling about the affirmations? Maybe I should stop asking you that because no one has answered. But that goes into the next topic, which is our deep topic. And the deep topic is love yourself instead of loving the thought of other people loving you. Be your own light. Shine for yourself. Don't wait for someone else to shine their light on you. Period. You don't need someone else to complete you. Yes, I know that back in the day, or even if you're still younger now, I say younger like I'm not young, but we used to think that, we needed or wanted someone to complete us. Or if we were with someone, we said or told them that, like, you complete me. And that was like a term of endearment, like showing that I love you so much and like you are a most important or a big part of my life and very important to me. But if you are really meaning that, then I need you to step back and take a few notches back, because I'm not going to say it's a problem, because it just depends on how deep you're thinking into it. It's like if you look at the word complete me as I can't live my life without you. Like if you were to leave me, I would unalive myself. Then that's where it's a problem. But saying that someone completes you, I understand it on both ends of you don't really need someone to complete you. But at the same time, like when you were with this person, this is your soulmate, like they make you feel complete. Like if there is a part of your life that has been missing all this time, they do make you feel complete. It just depends on how much emphasis you're putting on complete. That makes sense. It makes sense. Okay. So sometimes we find ourselves needing to feel loved by others. Like the need to feel loved. It comes from multiple things and a plethora of things, which I wrote down here. Lovely. Don't you just love the ASMR of the paper? How do you do it? No, you can't hear it from here. Let's see. Sorry, I wanted to see what it sounds like when I play it back. If you want some ASMR, just let me know. But oftentimes we find ourselves needing love, like I said, being thirsty, being, what's the word? We find ourselves being desperate for love. We find ourselves desperate for love because deep down inside, there's like a lack of something within, and we're trying to fill that void in with someone else. But little do we know that someone else can't do that. Before we fill our own cup, before we become our own light, we got to become our own light first. And I want to say that is perfectly normal, and that is a stage I think that everyone has to go through first in order to realize it. And sometimes you need someone to tell you. And here I am, girl. I'm here to tell you. But it's normal to want someone to fill that void, or to need, or feel like you need to have someone love you, or are desperate for that feeling of love, especially if you haven't felt that right? So I'm going to break down where it could and or may stem from, because there's a lot of reasons. Like, I can't tell you exactly why it was for you, but you can look back in your life after I give these examples and be like, oh, okay, here are some similarities. This is probably where it comes from. Okay. It stems from, it could be abandonment, lack of emotional support in childhood, heartbreak, low self-esteem, lack of self-love, and a reflection on yourself. Seeing yourself as less than if you don't have someone, or an absent parent. And you can fill in the blanks for what else. But if you are walking around with a lack of love for yourself, you are a open, vulnerable vessel for someone else, and you will start basing your worth on how they love you or the fact that they love you. You're going to continue to hit those same cycles and hit the same issues with the people that you love, because you're not getting into the relationships for the right reasons. You're getting into relationships wanting to feel that sense of worth, when in actuality you should already have that sense of worth before you try to become serious with someone. On the other side of the coin, it's okay to not have all your stuff together, not feel like you're worthy, and for someone else to show you that you're worthy. Right? But I think a lot of people are going back and forth dating around because they don't feel like they're worth anything if they're single. They don't feel like they're worth anything if they don't have someone by their side. I want you to go back and figure out where it comes from. So abandonment, it could come from literally a parent abandoning you, like friends abandoning you, or a old significant other abandoning you. It can come from any stage of your life to where that abandonment showed you that it was your fault that they left, so you're not worthy enough to even be loved in order for people to stay. And if all your relationships follow that pattern, then you need to figure out where it comes from. You're just going to keep repeating that pattern. But that abandonment shows you, like, I'm not good enough to keep anyone around. Like, people always leave me. Like, what's wrong with me? Abandonment can show up in a way that tells yourself or your partner that you'll do anything to keep them because you don't want them to leave you. No matter how bad they are, how much they are a negative to your self-worth, you don't want anyone to abandon you, so you're trying your best to not have them leave you. And that can look like you showing signs of jealousy, or you being controlling or possessive. And you got to figure that out. Okay? The lack of emotional support in your childhood sets you up for failure in a sense, because you're not even able to understand your worth because you didn't have anyone that was there for you emotionally. You didn't have anyone that showed you what love was for you. So you don't feel worthy of love because no one showed you what it was. But now, once you become older, you look for your self-worth in someone else, because they're showing you something. I don't know what it is. They're showing you something. But that's a problem, because now you're relying on someone else to be your light. Heartbreak can also run into abandonment, because depending on how that heartbreak went, that's all I'm going to say. Lack of self-love can be from low self-esteem. You just don't see yourself as worthy. You can't possibly see yourself as just being worthy as is by yourself without any changes. Lack of self-love and a reflection of your views on yourself. I feel like the rest of these are kind of self-explanatory. Lack of self-love and reflection on self. Seeing yourself as less than if you don't have someone. And then an absent parent, you're fighting for their love because you're trying to prove yourself. And time again, they're showing you that all your efforts don't mean anything. So you just continue that cycle. Like, if you never learn to love yourself and you just go about your life, you're going to put yourself in situations of reliance. Reliance out of lack. You're relying on someone to love you because you have lack of self-love for yourself. And those can be very uncomfortable and sometimes dangerous situations that you don't want to be in. And sometimes you might not even notice that you're in them. You don't even notice that you have lack of self-love. You don't even notice that you have low self-esteem. You could be delusional, and I'm not going to say it's you, but there are some people that are delusional. And when you go into a relationship and you are lacking that love for yourself, you go in hoping that that person will love you enough to fill that void of your lack of self-love. Hoping that person makes you feel worth it. Hoping that person makes you feel worthy. But as soon as that person does something to you, it destroys you because you put so much faith in that person when that faith should have been in yourself. Now, when I am going on about this, I'm not saying that it's all you, like you can't receive effective love if you love yourself wholly. No, but you have to understand that you are trying to fill a void if you are trying to fill that void. We all have our own things that we have gone through. We all have our own things that have affected us. But once you realize that those things have affected you, that's when you do that work. If you don't realize that you were just in these relationships back to back to back to back, trying to keep someone and trying to keep someone happy, and you only feel like you're worthy if you are with someone, that's when it becomes a problem. And then it's just as simple as working on being by yourself, loving on yourself, figuring out who you are, etc., etc., etc. Not seeking validation from others, not wanting to prove yourself or prove your worth to someone else. I feel like that's just a stressful life. And a way to cope with the lack of self-love is to keep bouncing around from person to person or trying to keep someone just for the sake of keeping them. Because without them, we already went over that, right? I just want you to love yourself instead of seeking anything from anybody else. I wish I had an example that came up in my head, but it didn't. I want your light to shine so bright on its own that when another light comes and shines on you, it's a complimentary light. I don't want you to be relying on someone else's light to give you light. I don't want you to be like was it the moon? Which one bounced off which? I want you to be the sun and not the moon. I don't want you to have to rely on someone else's light to give you a reflection to help you. I think that was kind of good, not gonna lie. If we talking about lights, the moon is relying on the sun's light. The moon ain't got light. The moon don't produce light. The moon is relying on the sun's light so that you can see the moon at night. I want you to be the sun. Okay? I want you to be so into yourself and your self-development and your self-improvement that when someone comes along, they compliment you. That's the word I was looking for. Compliments. Not complete. Compliments. Look for someone that compliments you and not completes you. Because completion is a dangerous game depending on how low your self-esteem and how low your lack of self-love is. I wish I could just say things like this without saying 32,000 words in the beginning. But if you ever find yourself feeling like it's aching you that you are single or you're not with someone, or you this could be friends. I'm sorry if I'm going straight for relationships, but if you feel like you have friends that you, I guess have like close connections to, and you find your worth in how they treat you or how the love you receive from them, then yeah, take a step back. Not saying it's impossible to continue, but take a step back. Like, figure out why you're feeling like that. Figure out why you have such strong, intense emotions for someone that's not you. Why are you having possessive feelings towards someone? Figure that out. And I promise you, your answer will come and things will change, and I wish the best for you. But as long as you don't try to step back and figure out why your self-worth is so low and why are you lacking self-love, then you won't be able to go on successfully. It might look successful, but actually not successfully. But if you want a relationship that looks good, then hey, don't listen to any of my advice, because I'm not here for relationships that look good. I'm not here for relationships that be faking that they happy. I'm not here for relationships that just be on the gram and faking. You know, these Instagram and YouTube couples don't even be together, but they have a brand, they have money that's coming in, so they will portray, they can act like they out here still together, still in love, make it look so cute. Because if you got enough money, enough lighting, enough clothing, and if you can smile in a picture, then it looks like everything is fine. And then you have so many people that are idolizing these couples, and it's just like, little do you know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And it's just heartbreaking. Not heartbreaking for me, but it's heartbreaking when you see people go into a relationship and they're trying to be like these people, but these people they're not even together. They don't even like each other. So if you want to be in a relationship that's healthy and you're liking someone, love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, you're going to show up as jealous. You're going to show up as controlling. That person is probably not going to want to be around you no more. And then if you do luck up, that person will probably ignore your red flags, but then they'll blow up eventually. So it's like short term, long term, it's never going to work out. And I'm sorry if this was harsh for you, but it's not going to work out. You have to love yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to be complete. You have to be a solid pillar by yourself before you think that you can achieve optimum happiness in your relationships. Now, back once again, I was one of these people because I didn't realize that I didn't love myself when I got into a relationship with Chris. Like, I just knew in the beginning I was just being me. I didn't know that the actions that I was making reflected on the lack of self-love, the lack of self-worth, the lack of all the things in my life. I didn't realize that until I got older and I was able to reflect and think back like, wow, that was crazy, but that's the reason why I did that. This is the reason why I did that. This is the reason why I did that. Oh, snap. Like, I did all the things because I didn't love myself. And not loving yourself causes you to do some crazy things that your future self will look back and be like, are you okay? Like, you have to be nuts. You have to be nuts. But yeah, if there's anything I want you to get out of this is to love yourself before you try to receive and give all of your love that should be going to you to someone else. Because, I mean, you're going to be an empty cup. Why would you want to be an empty cup? How you going to fill somebody else's cup if you're empty? That's all I'm going to say on that. And then lack of self-love will force you to do things that you probably normally wouldn't do on two ends. It will force you to receive anything because you don't love yourself. You receive any kind of treatment from someone else, or you'll be acting out and wilding out because you don't love yourself. And I think, well, I'm not going to say it's that simple because that was kind of complex. I was kind of stumbling over words a little bit, but for real, be complete on your own. And I feel like people that learn this before they get into a relationship, they have that advantage because they don't have to go through that with someone else. That can just be a journey on their own. But I went through it with someone else, and well, I was going into that, but I forgot. I just jumped all around because I forgot. What was I going to say about that? I had me doing crazy stuff, but I don't remember. Sorry. Maybe I was just saying that it's possible to be done when you're already in a relationship, but it just really depends on you, how hard you're trying to work to building the love for yourself so that you are able to love effectively. Because for me, when I didn't love myself, I was literally in the mindset of I love you more than I love myself. And people say that for as a term of endearment, just like you complete me. But for me, I was really loving him more than I love myself. I didn't love myself at all. I had no sense of self-love. There was nothing at all. I didn't even know that was a problem until I realized that things that he did that weren't issues, it wouldn't be an issue now that I do love myself, was an issue, and it reflected on me being hurt because my love was all in him. I wasn't secure in myself. So how can I be in a healthy relationship? It's not possible. So you rely on someone else emotionally when you should be relying on yourself. And relying on someone else emotionally is dangerous because that can lead you or put you into depression. That can allow them to be able to control your emotions. Luckily, I wasn't with someone that was trying to control my emotions and or narcissistic. But some people have been in relationships where they love them so much and they rely on them for their sense of self-worth, and that person uses that against them to do what they want to do, mentally manipulate them, and end up harming them, not even in the long run, short term, harming them, and that can turn into mental abuse, and Lord knows how else that can go. Do you see what I mean when I said dangerous? That's what I mean when I said dangerous. It's not a safe game to play. And there are a lot of people that have been lucky, like I have been, and I thank the Lord for that. But there are some people that haven't been. And that's just that. So I hope that you really just love yourself. This is like, I don't know. I'm not going to say amongst everything else because I feel like I say that a lot. But like, the lack of self-love in this generation is crazy. And the lack of self-love does not have an age. Lack of self-love can be 40s, 50s, 30s, 20s, etc. It just shows up in different ways. And I want you to figure out why is that for you and heal that inner part of you. Let's go through that circle together. Here, hold my hand. Let's go through that circle together. Let's find a solution. Let's figure out why you're doing these things. Why are you acting like this? Why are you accepting this? You got to love yourself. You got to love yourself, or else you're going to keep accepting and dishing out the same stuff that you've been dishing out. And if you're happy with that, then whoop-de-doo. Be happy. I automatically expect for people to be negative when no one has been negative to me thus far. So I don't know why I do that. But yeah, I think that's all I want to say on that. I hope I said enough on that segment or section or topic. That's what I meant to say. But you don't need to be feeling for love for someone, especially if it's coming from out of lack. If you feel like you were feeling for it way too hard, then it's probably... You probably need to work on something that's internal. And I mean, nobody else can see it but you. So that's it. And for some people, sometimes God doesn't send you someone because there's some things that you need to work on. Okay. So the camera cut off, and I hope I said all I needed to say in the last clip because I think I did say all I needed to say. It's very simple. Love yourself before you get into a relationship or try to attach yourself to someone else or something else. You got to take that time. You got to take that time because you're going to be overburning yourself. You're going to be overexerting yourself to prove that you are worthy of this love from someone else when you are worth it without doing anything extra. Now, you do the extra because obviously you do the extra, but it has to have a different kind of intent behind it. Not to show that you're worthy, but to show them that you care about them. You got to see it from a different eye view. So, oops. Yeah, and if you don't, you're going to be burnt out because, like I said, the intent behind it is you're showing your worth. You're not getting the results that you want to get out of it, and then now you're sad for no reason, and no one knows why because you can't explain to them that you have lack of self-love because obviously you still don't even know that yet until you watch this video. All right. So love yourself, girl, and nobody will. Whoever said that. And I know I said something wrong in there, but whatever. I meant to say or nobody will. Okay. So right now we're going to let loose. Okay. I'm going to stop yelling at you because I feel like I be a little stern. I don't know. I'm just talking shit. So our Reddit topic of today is, what did a fictional character say that stuck with you? Quote, you can't keep blaming yourself. Just blame yourself once and move on. Homer Simpson. I'm going to send this to my computer because that might be easier, right? To read. You know, side note, I love this brand. Not going to say because they're not paying me, but I love this brand because you can just send stuff to your computer in 0.02 seconds, and that's kind of cool. Okay. Quote, how lucky am I to have someone that makes saying goodbye so hard? Winnie the Pooh. Aww. Today, me will live in the moment unless it's unpleasant, in which case me will eat a cookie. Cookie Monster. I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you actually left them. Andrew Bernard, aka the Nard Dog. Many that live deserve death, and some that die deserve life. Can you give it to them? Then do not be too eager to deal out death in judgment. Wow. Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. Wow. Another great Gandalf quote. Frodo, whoever that is. I wish none of this had happened. I wish the ring had never come to me. So do all who live to see such times, but that is not for them to decide. All you have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to you. Wow. When you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all. True. What is the most important step a man can take? Always the next step. Dalinar Cole? Dalinar? I don't know these people, man. Y'all having me read. Accept your pain, but not accept that you deserved it. Woo! That's good. Life is pain, Highness. Anyone who says differently is selling something. Wesley in The Princess Bride. Someone said, yes, exactly. My favorite line from the movie The Princess Bride was B. We'll never survive. W. Nonsense. You're only saying that because no one ever has. Wow. I didn't expect for these to get that deep. Is this a deep segment or is this a let loose? Pride is not the opposite of shame, but its source. True humility is the only antidote to shame. Uncle... This is from the Avatar, The Last Airbender. The uncle in there. I'm not saying this name. Ero. I said it anyways. Yes. Wow. Those were deep. I want something to laugh at, chuckle, a kiki, if you will. So let's find something else. But those were really good. Might write some of those down. But those are, yeah. Sending it to my computer now. And then we can head on out. Okay, what is the funniest, most creative pickup line a girl used on you? We was walking and she said her birthday is this month. I asked her when's the date. She said this Saturday is fine, but my birthday is next week. I've never became so sweaty and cross-eyed in my life. Someone said, what was your reply? He said, all right, see you next week. Then finger guns. Playing it cool. I once had a girl randomly walk up to me, they meant to me, twice, and say hi, blink out, and walk away without me getting to respond. Once at a gas station, once at a train stop. I managed to run into her on campus after that and said hi. We both kind of laughed at that point. We have our first child coming along this March. Oh, that's so cute. A girl stopped me and asked me where I was going. I said I was heading to a friend's house. She said, oh, we should be friends, and then you can be headed to my house. Bold. Wow. We exchanged numbers and went out 2 days later. She was my second ever girlfriend. We dated for about 1.5 years until she moved. Wow. That's really smooth. She's quick on her feet too, because he just told her that. Wow. She wanted him from the time she laid eyes, boy. I do not drink, but I swallow. All right, nah. Happily married for almost 4 years now. Wow. I can say that's smooth too. A girl told me she liked someone in our class and asked me if I wanted to guess. I said yes and said a few names I remembered of students in our class, and she said no to all of them. 5 minutes later, I have the class list up and I'm typing name after name oh my gosh. 5 minutes later, I have the class list up and I'm typing name after name until there's no one left. I told her there's no one left but me. And that it obviously wasn't me. She didn't say anything, but sent a reaction that basically said, actually. Someone said, many guys are so dense about women hitting on them. My buddy always says a woman could drag me in the bathroom stall and start blowing me, and I'd be thinking, she's just being nice. Literally, he had to go through the whole classroom, all the names of everybody in the class, before he realized, before she had to tell him, it's you, because she had to be on the last little, he got to the last person in the class. Goodness gracious, do I need a nap? Hey, I love your shirt. Thanks. I have a good one back at my house. Let's trade. She said back at my place, but I said house. Wow. Someone said, I hope you made a good deal. He said he was speechless. Wow. People have read it. Sorry, but punctuation, spelling, not on par. It's really messing me up, making me feel like I can't read. Because it says sidles, but he means slides. Slides up to the bar with drink in hand. Locks eyes and slowly and sensually dips finger in drink. Reaches out and ever so lightly touches my chest with finger. Repeats on her own chest. Tilts head beguilingly. Then asks, what do you say we go back to my place and get out of these wet clothes? Mission accomplished. Best opening line ever. Funny and cool. Wow, that is good. Last one. Nothing too clever, but very direct. We were talking and she goes, I can't focus on what you're saying when you blink at me with those long lashes. I swooned. That's me. That's how I flirt with my husband. I do the most. But, oh, these are so cute and funny. By the way, these are from Ask Men of Reddit. I tried to find, Ask Women of Reddit, but there's no good ones in there. So, anywho, that is my time. Thank you so much for watching this episode. What's this, episode 14? Episode 14. That means we'll be going 4 months. Crazy. Thank you for watching episode 14 of Soul Division. I hope that it was everything that your soul needed for today and for whenever you need to come back and look at it. I have been your host, Ashley Dukes. And just like that, we finna bounce. I'm finna bounce. It's just me. There's no one else here. But I hope you enjoy your week, your weekend, all those things. I hope nothing but great things happen for you. And subscribe, like, comment, all those things. I forgot to say that. But after you do that, I'll say bye. Bye.